We are live. We are live. We are live. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, all my peoples, all my good peoples. Rise and shine. It's time to rise and shine, good people. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to get into it? Y'all ready to rise and shine? Mhm. Know what I always ask you? You remember the name. The name you got to remember. It's the name. Aaron Benjamin Miles. Aaron Benjamin Miles. I'm gonna play it like they play them songs on our radio station until it becomes a hit. Aaron, 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 ah, 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 Aaron. There it goes right there. Aaron Benjamin Miles, 110th mayor of NYC, independent candidate. I'm independent. I ain't messing with these Republicans. I ain't messing with these Democrats. Aaron Benjamin Miles, 110th mayor of New York City. And it's another beautiful day to rise and shine with the good people. Rise of the good people. We rising, people. We up next. That's right. We up next. The world is different. The world is different, and we up next. This is my docu-series, Before Becoming Mayor of NYC. It'll be on video on demand on Amazon Prime very soon. As soon as I get to start uploading this footage. This is a docu-series. It's history in the making. They're gonna be studying me in the future. They're gonna be studying me, reading about me, and all the stuff that I was doing in my private time, kind of things I like, kind of women I like, kind of food I ate. They're gonna be studying everything, man. Because this is history in the making. Aaron Benjamin Miles, 110th mayor of NYC. Coming soon. Independent candidate. I'm going to need those 7,500 signatures. I got a bunch of people coming out to get them signatures. Each of them probably going to only be asking you for 10. They're going to come to get 10 signatures each. They're going to each be coming to get 10 signatures because they get $1,000 for that. From Aaron Benjamin Miles. And that's as a result of my economic relief. Economic relief. We need some economic relief because that stimulus money ain't circulating fast enough in our community, man. They pacifying us. They giving it to a few people. You know what I mean? But it ain't really getting around to everybody because they want to redline us again like they did back in the days. They still doing that. They doing this redistribution of wealth right now. Right now, redistribution of wealth is happening right in front of your eyes. The government is behind it like they was before when they gave out the loans so people could get homes, because that was generational wealth. And they made sure a lot of people that looked like the advocates of the white agenda, they made sure they were the main ones that got access to that redistribution of wealth. And they trying to do it again right now. They call it subsidization today. Today they're calling it subsidization. Aaron Benjamin Miles. And they're trying to redistribute that wealth to people that look like them. Because everybody who look like them is not one of them. That's why I don't want people to confuse some of our white brothers and sisters to be part of these advocates of the white agenda, because everybody who's white is not a part of that. So that's why you got to know good people. You got to know how to identify good people. And that's what my topic Today is all about really knowing how to identify the good people. My topic for today is called Just Another Nobody. Just another nobody. I got a political checklist right here on what will qualify you to being just another nobody. In the eyes of a lot of these politicians, it's very clear who they would consider just another nobody. And I would be one of them. I'm just another nobody, but I'm running for mayor because we need one of our people in one of these positions of power. We need our people in some of these positions of power because politicians don't care about people who they label as just another nobody. You know, when they talk about us, you know, it's how they refer to us. You know, you might be online waiting for you some benefits and complaining about something. You upset in there because, you know, they ain't treating you right. Or you just having a bad day and they'll look out into the crowd and see you and they try to figure out how to deal with you. And they be like, I don't worry about it. Just another nobody. Don't worry about it. That's just another nobody. We ain't nobody to them. How do you define just another nobody? How would a politician categorize a person as just a nobody, just another nobody? What are the qualities of someone who they would label as just another nobody? Well, here's my political checklist for someone who would just, to them, be just another nobody. And see if some of this applies to you. Because if this applies to you, to most of these politicians, you're just another nobody. And right now, you really don't have anyone fighting for you in any of these positions of power. Let's see. Born into poverty. Were you born into poverty? Because if you were born into poverty, it's a very good chance that you're just another nobody to most of these politicians. A single parent household, usually raised by a mother. If you were born into poverty and you're from a single parent household, most likely just raised by your mother, it's a good chance that politicians will label you as just another nobody. There's more. Let's see what else I got on here on this political checklist for just another nobody. From a community of color. Are you from a community of color? Because if you're from a community of color and you were born into poverty and you're from a single parent household raised by just your mother, could be a father too, single parent, because they separate our parents, then most likely to a politician in a position of power, to most of these advocates of the white agenda, let's just call them that, to most of these advocates of the white agenda, you're just another nobody. Were you raised on welfare and food stamps? Just another nobody. Are you a product of a second-class education? See? Just another nobody. Born into poverty, single parent household from a community of color, raised on welfare and food stamps with a second-class education, most likely to a politician and most of these, and to all of these advocates of the white agenda, you're just another nobody. Let's see what else is on my list. Deprived of effective medical care and coverage. Do you have that? Are you deprived of effective medical care and coverage? Just another nobody, man. If these things on this list apply to you, then most likely advocates of the white agenda consider you just another nobody. Let me see what else I got on here. Exposed to drugs, alcohol, and prostitution. Have you been exposed to drugs, alcohol, and prostitution? See, just another nobody. Abused by police and many other figures of authority. Have you been abused by police and many other figures of authority? Then most likely you're just another nobody. I'm sorry to tell you, man. Don't take it out on the messenger. I'm just giving you the political checklist on how advocates of the white agenda will label you as just another nobody. Were you bullied as a youth? Just another nobody. Are you a former shelter resident or current shelter resident? Then most likely, advocates of the white agenda would consider you just another nobody. Were you wrongfully, like me, were you wrongfully terminated from a job ever in your life? Then you probably just another nobody. Court ordered child support. Do you have that? You probably just another nobody. You got that court ordered child support. Behind on rent and other bills. Are you behind on rent and other bills? See, them advocates of the white agenda, they would be like, oh, that's just another nobody. Because they don't get behind on their rent and other bills. They got an abundance of money. If you was part of that, special interest group, you would never be behind on rent and other bills. So if you behind on rent and other bills, you're not a part of that special interest group. And if you ain't a part of that special interest group, to advocates of the white agenda, you're just another nobody. Cash poor. Are you cash poor? Or are you just poor in general? You not have cash, you not have credit, you don't have food stamps, you don't have a gold coin, you don't have a collectible stamp, you don't have nothing that's worth anything. Then you're just another nobody, man. I'm sorry to tell you, man. This is the political checklist on how you can know if you're just another nobody. I'm just trying to break it down for you. Are you constantly hustling for survival? Are you constantly having to find a way to hustle just to survive? Just another nobody. Are you a good soul traumatized? Are you a good soul that's been traumatized? Just another nobody. Have only God to turn to. Do you only have God to turn to? There's no one else that you can turn to except God. Then advocates of the white agenda would consider you just another nobody. And the last thing I have on my political checklist for just another nobody is, have you been pushed to the point of finally not giving a fuck? Pushed to the point of finally not giving a fuck. Just another nobody. That's the political checklist. I'm going to say it all at one shot. If this political checklist describes you in any way, advocates of the white agenda consider you just another nobody. Born into poverty, single parent household, from a community of color, raised on welfare and food stamps, second-class education, deprived of effective medical care and coverage, exposed to drugs, alcohol, and prostitution, abused by the police and many other figures of authority, bullied as a youth, a former shelter resident or current shelter resident, wrongfully terminated from any employment or job, court-ordered child support, behind on rent and other bills, cash poor, constantly hustling for survival, a good soul traumatized, have only God to turn to, and pushed to the point of finally not giving a fuck. If that list describes you, then I'm sorry to tell you, to advocates of the white agenda, you're just another nobody. And, it's important to know how people label you. When you walk into an establishment, you might come in feeling like somebody. We feel like we somebody just because we alive. We somebody. But you got to know how people in that establishment looks at you. Do they look at you as somebody, or do they look at you as just another nobody? That's important to know how to expect, what type of treatment to expect, right? Because being just another nobody is tough in this world, at least right now, because you're all on your own. Like it says on the list, you only have God to turn to, because we have no people in positions of power. That's why I decided to run for mayor of New York City, because I'm just another nobody. And I know there's no one in positions of power to protect my rights, who will care about my rights, who have the same experiences in life that I have, so that they would identify with me. They would relate to me, and they would care about my situation. We don't have that yet. I'm coming though. I'm coming. That's why I need you to not waste your vote and voting for anyone else, because all those other candidates, they don't relate to that list, that political checklist I just read off. I don't really want to say that all the way. Some of them do relate to it, but it's a difference, you know, relating to it and knowing that you a person who fits into that category of that political checklist, but identifying with it. See, they try to run from it. They try to hide from it. That's why they try to give you the political correct image, and they only do commercials, and everything is staged, and you know, it's staged to give you just this perfect image. That's what politicians do. Everything is acted. That's why they call each other actors, because they're acting. If you don't want to accept your own situation, conditions, and reality, then you're not going to accept anyone else who's of those conditions, situations, and reality. You feel me? If they can't accept their own condition, situation, and reality to being one of the people who are just another nobody, then they won't identify with anyone else who's just another nobody. So they're not going to try to represent you. They're going to try to act like they don't even see you, because to the advocates of the white agenda, they want to make sure that there's no association or affiliation to just another nobody. But that's in their eyes. Who are we in our eyes? In our eyes, we are somebody. In our eyes, we are somebody. And not only are we somebody, we're somebody special, right? We're somebody special. We're good people. We are good people. You say it sometimes to yourself or to other people. You be like, I'm a good person, right? But it's very subconscious what we're saying when we say that. We really don't, a lot of times we really don't, you know, we don't really bring that to the conscious mind. It's so subconscious. I'm a good person. You see someone else and you identify them, you're like, yo, that's a good person. Because you see them do good things. You know what kind of things a good person would do, where you can identify them. Like, oh, see that person right there? That's a good person. Because they're like me. I'm a good person. And that's something I would do. So that person right there, that's a good person. Right? The point I'm trying to make is, good people, we got to start sticking up for one another. That's the problem. We don't stick up for one another. We don't identify one another as family. We're family. Good people. See, on your own, These advocates of the white agenda, they will label you as just another nobody, and they will violate you as just another nobody. That's why they created this qualified immunity. It says they have the right to creatively violate the rights of just another nobody and not be held accountable. Because if it's up to them, they will always let each other off for violating the rights of just another nobody. They'll go, oh, it's just another nobody, you know? But we can't leave it up to them. We got to decide how accountable they're going to be held for violating the rights of one of our brothers and sisters. These people that they label as just another nobody, to us, they're good people. And when we stand up for one another, like we've done in the situation of George Floyd, oh, they recognize that. They recognize that when we swell up in this unified, in this collective unification of communities of color, oh, that puts a lot of fear into them. See, because there's one thing about good people. Good people go out of their way to try to avoid conflict. We just do. We just don't want it. We just don't want to deal with it. We don't want to deal with the bad people, those loud people, those rowdy people, the bullies. We'd rather just go another route. Let me go the other way. Let me just avoid them, right? And even when we bump into them and they're violating us, it takes a lot for us even to stand up for ourselves. We're just trying to just, not react until they go away. Do what you got to do and then go away. Please, just leave me alone, man. I don't really want to deal with you, right? You can push a good person so far, right? Good people, we're so tolerant. We can absorb a lot of abuse. But there's one thing about the good people. Once you push them too far, once you push us too far, then you have a problem. Because once that lever clicks, once God flips that switch, a good person becomes a ferocious savage, a killer. Once you push them past that point of no return, they lock on to you. And then it's to the finish, baby. Now you done messed up. Once you push the good person too far, they ready to die. Right there. Either they gonna get you or they gonna die trying. Right? And right now, what I'm about to do, Aaron Benjamin Miles, I'm about to make you, as a good person, become conscious of the fact that you're a good person. And then I want you to connect that fact that you're a good person to the fact that you got brothers and sisters out here who are good people. And you have to start looking out for one another. You have to start protecting one another. We have to make it known that when somebody messes with one good person, every good person that's around is going to intervene and do something. We're going to swell up on you in that unified, in that collective unification. We're going to swell up in that collective unification. We're going to form that Voltron on you. And we all gonna click that lever at the same time. And we gonna go into killer mode. We locked in on you right there. My good people, that's what we need to do right now. We need to come together as one and let the world know there will be no more violating the rights of any more of our brothers and sisters. You will not violate not one good person lest you deal with the rest of the good people. And I'm coming to set it off. I'm coming to get in this position, mayor, the 110th mayor of NYC. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do as an advocate of the good people. I'm going to be a disruptor. I'm going to be a regulator. And I'm going to be an enforcer of the rights of the good people in New York City. And every other place in the world will see what that looks like. When the good people has someone in a position of power to look over their best interests. When they have someone in a position of power who's going to affect their quality of life. When they have someone in a position of power who's not going to stand by and let these advocates of the white agenda who label us as just another nobody. Well, that's okay. If you want to label my people, my good people, just another nobody, just don't touch them. You heard what I said? I said just don't touch them. You feel me? Because then you're going to have to deal with me. I'm different. Man, y'all not ready for me. But you're going to deal with me. My ancestors said I'm coming. Inshallah. And the good people, we about to do our thing, man. We going to be ready to swell up. In that collective unification of communities of color. When you think you're going to do something. When you think you're going to pull that, what they call it again? Immunity. What kind of immunity is that? Authorized immunity, earned immunity. I forgot the name of it. I can look it up on my phone. Just to be very specific. Right? But that immunity that gives you the right, qualified immunity, where you can creatively, let's just get the exact definition. Qualified immunity means that government officials, advocates of the white agenda, can get away with violating your rights as long as they violate them in a way nobody thought of before. Creatively. Well, do that to anybody except one of the good people. Because now we're about to have someone in position of power. Aaron Benjamin Miles. And now we're going to be conscious of the fact that we have other brothers and sisters out here who are good people. And we've decided that when you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. And when that happens, we're going to click that lever and go right into killer mode. We're going to lock in. And we're going to swell up on you with this collective unification of communities of color, all the colors of the rainbow. Because we have brothers and sisters who are of every color. America adapted our family formula. Guess what? That's the only reason America became the most powerful country in the world. Is because they adapted our family formula of using all the colors of the rainbow. Every one of these other countries that didn't adapt that formula, they ain't with it. And they ain't up on this level. My 30 minutes is up already, man. I'm about to end this right here, yo. It's your boy, Aaron Benjamin Miles. I want to give a shout out to all my brothers and sisters, yo. We up next, man. Rise of the good people. I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good day. I'm having a beautiful day. And I'm going to see you on the next go around. Yes? One.